Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Today I'm going to show you how to make this adorable baby card and matching envelope, as well as this really cute tag for a baby shower using supplies from our sponsor today, which is Paper Mart. You can find them online at www.papermart.com. They're your best source for packaging and more. And I got these itty bitty cutie little, look at those little clothespins. I got those there, and the ric-rac that we dyed in a video last week. We're going to use that on the card. And the baker's twine. Oh, so much good stuff, not to mention the tags. So let's go to the table and make this card already. Alright, we're at the table. I have all my stuff laid out. We got the ribbon that we dyed in that video last week where we played with all of our fun new spray inks. What I'm going to do is just show you how I used a wheel stamp to make these little t-shirts. This stamp is by Stampin' Up! And if I had bought a kit with, 6 onesie stamps on it, it would cost quite a bit of money, but a wheel was only $8. So think about that when you're looking at your stamp collection and when you're thinking about what to add. So what I'm going to do here is just show you how you can stamp with a wheel stamp. I am inking it up with an ink pad rather than using a cartridge because cartridges are quite expensive and I don't really have a lot. And then I'm just rolling it right across. So I've got these really cute little onesies. This is my envelope, so I just wanted to show you how to decorate an envelope because it's kind of fun to do that once in a while. Now the surface I'm stamping on, which I've covered with stuff and I shouldn't have, is just a baking mat and a piece of fun foam. So if I lift up my little baking mat, because it's not like I'm baking cookies or anything, might as well use it for something, I got a piece of white fun foam. And you can get that at the craft store for about 50 cents. The silicone mat is more, but if you have one, use what you have. I think the craft ones are actually cheaper than the baking ones, but I had a baking one and I really don't like to bake, so that works for me. I'm just gonna throw it across the room on the floor. Not a great idea, but I want it out of my way because I have a nice white space here. It's actually a piece of plexiglass I'm working on. I think I've come to like that as my solution. So to color these, I decided I was gonna kick it old school and use some watercolor pencils. And the brand I prefer is Inktense by Derwent, but you can use whatever you like. And I'm not going to color all these, but I just want to give you an idea. This is really, you want to just easy peasy. This is an envelope, nobody's going to keep it. Just throw in some color. Don't worry about it. You don't even have to stay in the lines when you're doing the ones you cut out because you're just going to cut around everything. Add a little bit of water. And really, that's about the gist of it. I will do a video fairly soon on using the Inktense pencils a little bit more properly, or with more, I don't know, a little bit nicer, but just to give you the idea. Now this is plain paper. That works fine to stamp on. But here is, I stamped it on watercolor paper. That's what I used and cut out. And so for that, when I was coloring, I simply just colored. Now the nice thing about these Inktense pencils is that once it dries, it's not going to lift back up again. So I can go over and paint this, go over and color around it with maybe some pink. And look, I don't even have to stay in the lines because I'm going to cut that out. It would take a little bit more time, but I just want to give you, a few ideas and not make the video a zillion hours long. That's not dry, but if it was, I could just brush over the whole entire thing and it would be fine. But, just if you're doing something you're going to cut out really closely, don't worry about staying in the lines. It'll actually look better if you go out of the lines because then you'll have some wiggle room and you won't end up with a weird white outline here and there. You won't end up with that white. So, that's just what you want to do. Just stamp some stuff, cut it out, and on we move. We're making a baby card today, obviously. So we're going to be using lots of pastel shades. And the first thing I want to show you how to do is how to make your background. You want to start with a piece of white paper. Now I'm making a 5.5 by 4 1/4 inch card. I've got my card base right here, craft paper. Craft goes with everything. I stock up on this when it's, not even when it's on sale, whenever I get it, I like to always have that on hand. And then what you're going to do is punch a scrap of paper. Now I know I'm going to want a little tag here, coming up here in a bit, so I'm just going to go ahead and stamp this now. I make sure I got it good and inky. These are clear stamps, so you really want to make sure you have them good and inky. Give it a minute for the ink to transfer. I've got my stamped image, good and proper. I'm going to use my punch that happens to match. Ooh la la, I'm very fancy today. I got matching punches. which, you know, these scallop ones you actually have to mess with a little bit to get it to line up perfectly. Oh, this is riveting, isn't it, folks? Alright, and then I'm going to stamp another one because we're going to use that right now. See, that's the reason why I was going out of order there. Alright, so I got this little punched scallop circle. And now I am going to use some light blue ink. This is Bashful Blue by Stampin' Up. I don't know if they make that color anymore. Any pastel blue will work. And I've got my little scallop circle. And I'm going to set this up near the top of my paper. And I'm just going to sponge. I'm starting on the scallop and just kind of dragging the ink out. I don't want a lot of color. I just want a little bit. I'm going to move it over. What we're making here is a beautiful puffy cloud sky. Some puffy cumulus clouds. You can dab, you can rub, it doesn't matter. And you just keep on working down as you go. And as you create these layers of masked cloud puffs, you're going to end up with a lovely background. You can kind of go in and soften up some edges. This is the background, remember, don't fret about it if it's not exactly perfect, but I think that looks pretty nice. Maybe a little bit more ink on the edge. Soften it out a little bit. Some people like to use paint brushes that kind of have stipply ends. So let me see if I have one right here. To do that, they're called color dusters. And then you can kind of like dust over the whole thing just to soften it, which works really nice. This cardstock I'm using is just inexpensive Georgia Pacific from Sam's Club or Walmart. I kind of like that softened out a little bit. There. What do you think? I think it's pretty cute. You could also just freehand cut a cloud or tear a shape from a, scrap of paper to do that as well. Alright, so now we're going to put our little clothesline that we're going to hang our onesies on. And I'm going to use some Paper Mart Baker's Twine. I'm using the orange color. And I'm just going to put that across my card along the top. And I'm going to adhere it on the back. I think I'll use a little double-sided tape, because then I can stick it right onto my card base. I could use hot glue, but my glue gun is not plugged in and over here, so I'm going to use this, and then it will, it'll just help it stick really good to the card base. A few more pieces on there for good measure. We will stick it on that card base. La-di-da. Alright, there. It's looking very springy, I think. I'm ready for spring. I just got a foot of snow the other day. Yes, a spring, please. Alright, so now I just want to figure out what onesies I want to hang. Those look pretty cute. And then I'm going to use some mini clothespins. And they have two different sizes from Paper Mart. You can only take one out of each package, then you can kind of see their sizes in relation to each other. I got white, of course, because I can dye them with my alcohol ink, or I can color them with a Copic marker or a Sharpie if I want to change a color. They're about $1.50 a bag, I think. So you see there, this is the larger of the two sizes, that's a smaller one. Since I'm using a small card, I'm going to go with a smaller pin, and I'm going to want 6 in all. Well, that's more than 6, but that's fine. So what I'm going to do is just clip these, just like I was clipping them on a real clothesline. I'm not going to trust these pins to hold the those little onesies on. I'm going to put a little 3-dimensional. You know what? I think this might be cuter with just one pin on each, because then I'll have an odd number. Because usually when you're creating things that better in odd numbers, and I was just thinking that I think that's going to be cuter with just one pin on each onesie. And then I'll have more pins for other projects. There we go. That looks pretty good. Now I'm just going to kind of move them so they're not all lined up. I don't want them to be matchy-matchy. Oops, that one's not even hooked onto the string. There we go. Now I'm just going to take a couple pieces of foam adhesive. I've got this. I had these little foam squares left over from one of those 3D pictures that kind of kids craft things, and they had a lot more 3D foam pieces than they needed, my kids that is, and so they were going to throw out the rest, and I said, hold on a minute, those things are expensive. I'll take them, please. It's just 3D. It's like your pop dot type thingamajigs. And I'm just gonna peel that off. Oh, look at that. It's not even stuck onto the string. I'm having an awfully difficult time here. I'm a little gummy today because I cut not one, but 2 of my fingers last night when I was making dinner. I'm telling you what, I can wield the torch in the craft room, but put me, you know, with kitchen utensils and I'm bound to greatly injure myself. I don't know why. I think I get distracted when I'm in the kitchen. Alright, oh my gosh, that's so cute! I love it! Okay, so what else does this need? You know, I'm thinking I want to do maybe a little grass here on the bottom. It's pretty cute as it is, but I just feel like it needs a little something extra, and maybe a little sentiment too. And I do have this little congratulations, so maybe, I know I should have stamped this before I put those things on there, but I think I actually want that stamped right on the background. And you know, that's kind of how I roll. I don't necessarily know what I want to do until I'm, you know, actually making my card. So I can always make it again if I mess up royally. So I'm just going to kind of lift that up a little bit. Oh yeah. You're seeing how I actually craft. A glimpse into my actual crafting. How special. Alright, look at that. That looks pretty good. I like it. Congratulations. Move that little onesie up a bit so it's not covering it. Alright, so this ric-rac's going to go on the bottom, but I think I would really like maybe some grass under there. So what I'm going to do is grab my shred scissors and a scrap of green cardstock. And then I'm just going to make some kind of faux grass. So I'm just ripping, it's actually pattern paper because that's what I had in my scrap bin when I just reached in to grab something. And I am going to just shred some little lines. Now you can buy these from, you know, Martha Stewart, or you can buy these in the gift wrap section and save yourself about 10 bucks. So, and they all work about the same, I think. I really don't think there's a big advantage other than the brand name. Alright, so I'm going to set that there and stick it down with a little double-sided tape. Now, the amount of fluff that you want to add to that is completely up to you. I'm just going to leave it kind of like that. And stick it down level with the bottom. You could, you know, make it be up higher if you want. It's completely up to you. And then I'm just going to adhere the ric-rac over it, like so. And I can kind of, you know, move my ribbon around and see exactly what I like. I kind of like that, I think. I think that looks pretty nice. It stands out. Okay, I think I like it like this. I'm going to use a little Helmar 450 to glue it down. I'm going to cut it first, though, because I know I'm going to want this piece of ribbon for something else. So let me grab my ribbon scissors and just give it a little snip. I'll trim it up later, but just to get me now. And I'm going to put my Helmar right on the back of this. And then once that's all set, we'll trim it off on the sides. Now I want to show you how to make a really cute tag to go with it. Now you have many options when it comes to tags. You can make your own out of cardstock, or you can purchase pre-made tags. And these are shipping tags from Paper Mart, and this is the size I use a lot. It's just a small, it's called a large merchandise tag, but it's a lot smaller than these larger shipping tags. And it really just depends on what I'm using it for, whether I'm just making a little gift tag. You can see how one of these little onesies would look on that. See, it almost fills up the entire thing. Or I could do more of like a larger gift tag, one that might be used in a scrapbook, or even this really big one here where I could probably put 2 onesies on a little string. So for this purpose though, I think I'm going to use the medium tag. Now all these tags come in boxes of 1,000, so it's a great idea if you get together with some of your friends and go in on a set, because 1,000 tags takes a long time to use up, even if you're scrapbooking and stamping and crafting every day. So I'm just going to do that same treatment that I did on the card background with my ink dauber and my blue. Just cover that in. And I'm also going to add a little bit of baker's twine around, but I think what I'll do is wrap it around a couple times just for a little bit of whimsy. I like whimsy. It's good to be whimsical. Alright, and just kind of give the edges a little bit of a... I like working on this plexiglass because I can just wipe it off when I'm done at the end of the day. In theory, my table's been so covered all week that I haven't had a chance to wipe anything off. Alright, let's see. Do I want to do that same color? I think I do like that orange. And these, this baker's twine I'm using comes in 240 yard spools, so it is really nice to not have to worry about wasting your supplies because you have such a lovely large amount of them. And I'm just going to tie this in a bow off the side. Alrighty. You could add a little button onto that string too if you want. And I think I'm just going to throw that one on there with maybe 2 clips this time. That way, like, I got the onesie in each clip, that would make 3 in total, and that, I think that would be pleasing. Just got to find one of these strings to clip onto, not my strong suit today. Just that, and then just, I will put a little dimensional back there. Now I just need to find that piece of cardstock that I trimmed. I think I want to ink that up a little bit too with my little daubers here. Now, something like this, I would actually write on the back of the card, if I put this on a gift, I would write, you know, to the mom-to-be from Lindsay. That would be on the back. So that way, they'd have this tag as decoration for their baby book, which I get a lot of comments from parents that save their gift tags and cards that I make their kids because they'll use them for scrapbook embellishments. So that's going to go there with a little bit of double-sided tape. Like that. I'm just going to put a little dimensional underneath. It's just like a little pop dot or whatever you have. You could hot glue it. I just don't have my hot glue gun over here. And then I would take the leftover piece of ric-rac and I would just thread it through up here or just staple it. Or maybe just tie it on there. Why don't I just tie it on there? That'll be fine. Try to tie it with my wounded fingers. My wounded hands. Oh, there, that's something, isn't it? Well, there, oh, you know what? I flipped the video. I got to, I turn it right side up because I'm actually going to flip this video around so you're looking at it right side. Now, so I've got my card, and I'm going to flip it over and trim off the extra. I know I'm using my fabric scissors, and there's a wee bit of paper there, but I think that they will survive just fine. Let's move all this junk out of the way. We got a cute baby card, we got a cute baby tag, and there you have it. I want to thank Paper Mart for sponsoring our video today. Check them out online, www.papermart.com, where we make you look even better. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, happy crafting.